instantly. Aurora police apprehended the man who took Jessica's life along with the lives of 11 other audience members and identified the mass shooter as James Holmes. An eerie reminder of her final conversation lies forever documented on an account that will never post again.
Alright guys, so we got, I'm about to go hot drop, going for tilted. Why not? What kind of truckery is this? Where am I gonna go? I don't know. In my booty hole. Where am I going? I'm garbage, dude. That's great.
There are few things more emotionally painful than a final goodbye. This was the case for Jeff Hunter, who lived with his father and stepmother in Arkansas, a state prone to tornadoes. It was one afternoon when the state declared a tornado warning for a massive EF4 twister. Many reports on the news declared casualties as the tornado rapidly made its way towards his town. Preparing for the worst, Jeff grabbed his phone and began texting his mother, who was around 20 miles away from home at the time, as he hid in his bathroom. It didn't take long before the ground around him started to shake. Jeff texted his final goodbyes to his mother seconds before the tornado devastated his home. Jeff's body was found gravely wounded lying within the rubble, and he died as a result of his injuries.
God.
It's a day that's supposed to stand for love above all other things. This was something that supermodel Reva...
See what you got.
Alright.
I'll sponsor you.
My stepdad's watching me right now. $8.55. Woo. This is when I woke up this morning. Nah, let's go for the lonely drop. Hey guys, this is my max sensitivity. I put on low sensitivity honestly. What kind of duckery is this? Oh my god, he's so lit. That guy wasn't, but now he is. This guy's lit ass. Don't at me. Alright, so about that sponsorship, buddy. What kind of cruise this? This game is actually really fun. They did a good job in this update. I don't want to talk about it, okay? Watch, I'm gonna get a legendary shotgun out of a chest. I'm good. I appreciate a better AR, but I mean, that's okay, game. And yes, I wasted those campfires so that nobody else would get them if they got stuck in the storm. Ah! Why waste my campfire whenever there's one right there? Good job, Alex. Definitely wanted to do that one, freaking retard. I need a better AR, jeez. Oh, it was like an answer from the gods, you know, just, oh, you need better AR ability. That kid is so lasered. Oh, he's so good to go. Dang, dude. I lasered that fag too. Hey. Nope. Sorry guys, got a little jumpy scary.
Steenkamp had in mind on Valentine's Day. She had just gone into a new relationship with her boyfriend, Oscar Pistorius, and was ecstatic to express her love to him for the first time. Riva took to Twitter and asked, "What do you have up your sleeve for your love tomorrow?" As planned, Riva drove to her boyfriend's house to meet with him, where he shot her multiple times until she bled to death in his bathroom. When questioned by police, his assumption was that a dangerous intruder made it into the house, and ultimately, he felt the need to protect himself from harm. Unknowingly, her final post on social media represented anything but the love and happiness she was expecting on that fateful. The truth is, while some jokes are funny, when they become real, that at times takes all of the humor right away from them. This could be said for a Dutch man who predicted his own fate. Just before boarding Malaysian Flight 17, Khor Pan decided to snap a picture of his plane. Joking around, he referenced his image to the previous Malaysian flight that had gone missing shortly before, with the caption, "If this is what it looks like." Hours after boarding the flight, news headlines headlines declared the disappearance of Flight 17. This would be the last image to ever surface on his social media just before his flight was shot down on the Russia-Ukraine border, killing all 298 passengers on board. Divorce can easily tear a family apart. Struggling to cope with his family life, Mike McNeil was a recovering alcoholic who was in the middle of a divorce. It became apparent to friends and family that there was an abundance of propane tanks and gasoline in the family garage. Avoiding any form of suspicion, he insisted that they were being saved for the winter season. It wasn't long after when he took to Facebook to post what would be his final image, captioned, "If you're gonna go out with a bang, might as well do it right." It was that same evening when police responded to a domestic dispute between Mike and his wife. As his wife and daughter were outside, the family's two-story house was engulfed by a massive explosion so powerful that it shook homes and businesses up to over a mile away. After hours of investigation, police uncovered the charred remains belonging to Mike, ruling the explosion a suicide. It's pretty easy for our minds to pick up on a dangerous situation. Whether we listen to it or not is another story entirely. This was the case for Sherry Carter. Working as an escort, it was common to work late nights from her home in Boynton Beach. To her, it was a regular work night as she texted her boyfriend until she noticed her client exhibiting unusual behavior. As he stood in her bathroom, she warned her boyfriend, fearing what her client's next move would be. His exact behavior is still unknown, and it's believed Sherry wanted to call off the sexual agreement. Within minutes, it became apparent that something bad had occurred to Sherry after she was unresponsive through her texts. Once police arrived at the scene, they discovered she'd been handcuffed and fatally shot. Retired officer Jimmy Ho was apprehended shortly after and identified as her killer. Jimmy ended up being convicted of the murder and sentenced to life in prison. Restraining orders are made to keep people safe from those who would wish to do them harm, but at the end of the day, they're only a piece of paper. Unfortunately, no restraining order could ever avoid the tragic events that were committed by the hands of Merrick McCoy. His ex-girlfriend, Kim, described him as a jealous and possessive man. Violent disputes were common between the two, resulting in restraining orders that kept their toddler safe from his erratic behavior. It was one fateful morning when Kim woke up to her ex-boyfriend standing over her with a gun pointed at her head. Frantic, she ran to the neighbors to call the police. This gave Merrick more than enough time to take their daughter from her crib before deciding to take one last picture with her. He posted the image on Facebook, directing his final words to Kim, stating, "I told you I can't live without you. Don't judge me. I had no choice." It was just moments after when Merrick fatally shot his daughter and eventually turned the gun on himself. Be careful what you wish for because it just might come true. Tiana Wangecki was an artist and blogger who had big dreams of being known in the media. To many, she seems like an extroverted and happy girl. However, this was anything but the case. At a young age, both her mother and father passed away, leaving her an orphan. In recent years, her blog became a place where she could write her dark troubles about life, a place where she could express her misery and sadness. Wishing she could unite with both of her parents, Tiana took to Instagram and began writing what seemed to be cryptic messages revolving around suicide and praying for a specific wish to come true. It was one day she was driving with a friend when she decided to post a picture of herself with the caption, "Sometimes things don't go your way and you have to accept that. You can't control everything in your life." Minutes after posting her picture, both were involved in a car accident, resulting in Tiana's body ejecting out of the passenger seat, killing her instantly. The only wish she desired so badly had seemingly finally come true. Blogging isn't only a good way to vent and express yourself,
Yeah, I'm still streaming. Oops. Better see if I can hit a snipey snipe. Sniper, snipey snip. Oh my god. Not his first kill, I guarantee it. No, his second kill, because he's so good. Beautiful. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, boys. It's kinda tough, but... Ooh, hold up. Oh, dang it. My name is Corey Kenshin. Alright guys, going for the salty drop. Actually, I'm gonna go for the sky-based drop. You know, I don't want to die, so why not? Ho ho! Bum bum bada bum bum bada bum bum bada bum. ate a fat penis. Whoa, you're so cool. That was my only gun, kid.
Simon Ing was an immigrant living in a brand new city with his older sister. Feeling lonely and discouraged, he began blogging online. He used his blog as a form of self-improvement. Simon recorded his daily routines. Over time, things seemed to be turning a corner when his life was tragically cut short by his sister's ex-boyfriend. His very last blog entry described every detail of what was going on in their apartment. He is already in the house. He is still here right now smoking, walking all around the house. It was moments after updating the blog when both Simon and his sister were brutally stabbed multiple times until they were dead. The blog entry was used as a key piece of evidence into catching their killer and bringing him to justice. Broadcasting your love on the internet can seem like a perfect thing until it's not. JoJo Tsai was in a relationship, one she was very passionate about. She frequently documented her relationship over Instagram, posting multiple pictures of the couple out on dates and freely expressing her happiness for the world to see. Things were going great until one day her boyfriend unexpectedly ended the relationship after his mother had disapproved of her. This infuriated and saddened her. In fact, it was at this point when an obsession had begun to surface. Not being able to accept the breakup, she began posting seductive images and videos of herself in hopes of bringing him back to her. This eventually escalated to JoJo posting multiple images of her newly ex-boyfriend, as well as images displaying his belongings on fire, with the caption, "I never thought you'd deceive me. How dare you?" Things took a much darker turn when her heartbreak overthrew her emotions. One of the final images posted on her Instagram were of her feet dangling from the top of an apartment building. An earlier caption she had written translates as, "When I'm dead, I will haunt you day and night. I will never leave you." This was one of the last messages she'd ever sent into the world before she jumped and took her own life. That's all for this episode. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because you won't want to miss the next episode of Seriously Strange. Thank you for watching. If you learned something new, be sure to click the like button below. Also, you can click on screen now to subscribe to my channel, or you can click the subscribe link below this video. See you next time. Society for a person to die and go completely unnoticed, but you'd be quite wrong about that. This week, my friend Matthew Santoro joins me while we examine
10 gruesome bodies discovered years after death.
results. Geneva Chambers was in her 60s when she suddenly went missing from the public eye. Neighbors remembered her as an angry woman who would often shout at people who got too close to her property, telling them to go away. And this worked for her. It drove people away. So when Geneva passed away inside of her home, no one would come around to check on her and see if she was okay, for fear of being yelled at. Eventually, her lawn grew tall and unruly, and neighbors believed she had abandoned the home. Eventually, a lawn maintenance worker noticed Geneva's sliding glass door ajar, and upon investigating, found Geneva's decomposing body in her bed, surrounded by cobwebs. It's believed she had been dead for 3 years. It's also speculated that Geneva had shunned her own family for reasons unknown, and she got exactly what she wanted. She died alone.
It was supposed to be a regular routine check for the police, but it turned out to be anything but that. Tanya Slayton was pulled over on Interstate 64 in June of 2015 when police realized that she had been driving a vehicle with an expired license. Once walking towards the car, officers noticed a strong and unusual smell coming from the trunk of the vehicle. Tanya insisted that she had placed clothing in the back of her trunk and that it wasn't anything worth checking out. A large white stain behind the driver's seat was easily noticeable from her windows, making the officers incredibly suspicious of possible criminal activity. The officers opened the trunk when they found the body of a child wrapped in 2 garbage bags. Tanya was charged with concealment of a dead body and is currently being held in the Hampton Roads Regional Jail. An autopsy of the body identified the remains of Tanya's young son, Quincy Jamar David, a 7th grade student that had been attending Virginia Beach Middle School when he was last seen in 2004. The body of Quincy Davis had been trapped in the trunk of his mother's vehicle for over 10 years. Quincy would have just turned 25 this year. An investigation continues into the case.
Though he may have appeared to be happy, he was anything but that behind closed doors. David Carter was a well-liked real estate agent living in Milwaukee. In 2007, David told friends and family that he was planning on moving on his own to New Mexico and would keep in touch after the move. Relatives soon lost touch with David after they failed to hear back from him. Over 4 years passed. Police finally entered his home. Bills began to pile up and mail was eventually discontinued from being sent to David's house until police discovered the remains belonging to David on the 2nd floor of his home in January of 2012. An autopsy was conducted, indicating the cause of death to be suicide after David shot himself in the head with a handgun. Upon contacting relatives, family members stated that David fell into a depression and began drinking after the death of his mother, Joanne, in 1997.
Losing communication with her friends and family could have been the worst mistake she ever made. Joyce Carol Vincent was a British citizen living on her own in a studio apartment in Wood Green, London. Due to personal complications revolving around domestic abuse, Joyce began cutting her ties with friends and family, eventually losing all communication with every single person in her life. In February 2003, Joyce moved to a studio flat that was owned by Metropolitan Housing, a company that housed victims of abuse. Friends and family failed to notice what was happening in Joyce's life, giving her plenty of space, not knowing if she was dead or alive. On January 25, 2006, police entered the flat and discovered the remains of Joyce, lying with a shopping bag next to her. Her television was still on when she was found. An autopsy concluded that Joyce died in December of 2003. The skeletal remains made it difficult to indicate the cause of death. However, investigators believe she may have died from an asthma attack.
As mysterious as they were, they never left each other's sides, even in death. Andrew and Anthony Johnson were 63-year-old twins living together in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and were notorious for being private people who rarely left their homes. Many neighbors reported not knowing their names and occasionally spotted the elderly brothers doing maintenance work on the side of their house. With little to no information, the community lacked to acknowledge the disappearance of both men. On March 29, 2014, police were sent to check on Andrew and Anthony